We're here at Divi Village Golf and Beach, a resort located right in the heart of Aruba. It's a beautiful location, the people here seem amazing, and they have some really great food. Plus, with a name like Golf and Beach Resort, you know you're gonna get some good tea time and some great beach time. So let's check out Divi Village Golf and Beach.
After a quick check-in, we hitched a golf cart ride straight to our room, which was much bigger than we expected. We had a king-sized bed, 2 full bathrooms, and an open concept design that connected the bedroom, the living room, and the kitchen. And that kitchen came complete with a washer and dryer, which came in really handy. But the best part though was the view from the back patio overlooking the pools. And for a nice bonus, it didn't take long to meet one of the locals. But this is what we really came for. The beach is just steps from the resort, putting you right on the sand next to that incredible Caribbean water. And if the ocean isn't your thing, the resort has several pools, and your all-inclusive plan can grant you access to pools at other Divi properties. We spent most of our time at the Infinity Pool thanks in large part to Enrique, who is a true artist with his cocktails.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some for you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Enrique definitely knows how to have fun, and the pools are a perfect place to unwind. Plus, you'll be sharing them with some of the local wildlife, including this guy, who looked like he was on his way to the bar. As for the fitness center, the on-site gym is a great morning spot. It has an impressive view of the beach from the treadmills, plenty of weights, and even an oceanfront climbing wall. And you'll want to get some exercise in because the food here is really good. We usually hit up Seabreeze Marketplace for breakfast. This spot has a full buffet with all the classics, including a custom omelet bar and a big selection of fruit. But they also have some great local flavors like plantains and Dutch cheeses. With a plate full of fresh fruit and a custom-made omelet, it was the perfect way to start a day. For lunch, we kept going back to Mulligan's. They had great drinks, fresh ceviche, and the filet was incredible. I'm pretty sure I ordered it every single day. For a more upscale dinner, there's Windows on Aruba, a beautiful restaurant with panoramic views of the entire resort. The service was exceptional, and Yahida and her team were incredibly welcoming and even shared some stories about the island's history. And the food was just as impressive. The rack of lamb was cooked to perfection and the veal chop was massive. Plus, the desserts were the perfect finish. From there, we went to the nearby Divi all-inclusive resort for some evening entertainment. And I was picked from the crowd for a dance competition that was going on, which was pretty ridiculous. Did I win a free t-shirt? Yes. Was it a women's XL that didn't fit me? Also yes, but at least I won something. After some celebration time on the beach, we headed back to Divi Golf to prepare for the next day of activities.
So we've had a great time at Divi so far, but we also want to explore the island. It may be small, but there's a lot to do, so let's explore the best of Aruba.
Now, Aruba is a small island. It's only about 20 miles long, but you will absolutely want a car to explore it properly. We rented from a local company called Sunset Rentals. I always prefer to go local, and they were fantastic. Great prices, an easy airport shuttle and pickup, and the perfect vehicle for navigating the island. Our first stop was Arikok National Park, and the car handled the terrain with no problem. And Arikok is home to stunning beaches, ancient caves, and a unique desert landscape that really sets Aruba apart from other Caribbean islands. We even met a guide named Ramba who spent time with us sharing the history of the caves and the island. This is a great way to spend a morning in Aruba. Next up was the Natural Bridge. While the larger bridge collapsed back in 2005, this smaller one is still an impressive formation carved by the sea. And from there we explored the Bushirabana Gold Mill ruins, where you can walk through what's left of this fortress-like structure. Gold was discovered on the island in 1824, kicking off a gold rush that would eventually produce over 3 million pounds of gold. These ruins are a direct link to that history. Another thing you'll notice is that wildlife is everywhere on this island. These goats lined the side of the road as we headed out of the park to prepare for what turned out to be our favorite excursion on this trip: the Sea Turtles Aruba tour with Winston and his family. Now, I've never loved snorkeling. There's something about being underwater in the open ocean that just wasn't my thing. But Winston and his daughters made it easy and comfortable, and we had a great time. Take a look at some of the animals we saw, like sea turtles. Aruba has green sea turtles and hawksbill turtles that feed in these waters. They're protected, so seeing them like this is pretty special. And those are southern stingrays. They're related to sharks and they can get pretty big. And there were fish everywhere. This was really cool to see up close. It was an excellent tour. Winston and his daughters picked us up from the hotel, made sure everyone was comfortable in the water, and made it a perfect experience. We would definitely recommend them, and so did the other members of our tour.
It was incredible. It was
115% worth every penny.
absolutely, it was amazing.
After that, we headed to Renaissance Island, home to the famous flamingos. We took a boat from the Renaissance Wind Creek Aruba Resort for a short ride over. This 40-acre island is one of only 2 private islands around Aruba, the other being De Palm. They even host private events here after hours, like concerts, dinner under the stars, and more. And the boat runs every 15 minutes, so you always have quick access to the island.
We're here at Renaissance Island. This is a private island that's owned by Renaissance Wind Creek Resort. And what's great about it is once you have a pass, you can do snorkeling and kayaking, and it's all included with that pass. There's 2 ways of getting them. You can either be a guest at the resort, or you can purchase a day pass. And once you're here, what everyone really comes to see are the flamingos.
These flamingos have been on Renaissance Island for about 15 years. Flamingos aren't native to Aruba. They were brought here. And the island is split into 2 sections: Flamingo Beach, which is adults only, and Iguana Beach, which is family friendly. The flamingos move between the 2 sides, and there are about 7 or 8 of these birds, and they're used to being around people. The island has palm trees, hammocks, and good Caribbean vibes. And it went viral back in 2017 when flamingo photos started showing up everywhere on social media. Now it's time to head back to Divi and play some golf. Once you check in, the caddies load up your cart and check your clubs to prepare you for a round on the only golf course in the Caribbean where wild burros and burrowing owls share the fairways.
So we're about to hit the links here at Divi Golf. Now, I'm not a great golfer, but when you have a chance to golf in paradise, you're gonna wanna take it. And at Divi Golf, when you have an all-inclusive package, you can get 1 tee time every day. Let's see how this goes.
Not a terrible drive, but let's see what happens from here. And there it goes, into the water. I told you I wasn't great, but honestly, the course is beautiful, so even a bad round is a good time. Divi Links really works with the island's landscape, and the trade winds add an extra challenge, or in my case, a convenient excuse for why my ball found that water hazard. Next up, we went out with Delphi Water Sports for their Sunset Cruise. Delphi has been in Aruba since 1992. It's a family business that started with renting aqua scooters on the beach and grew from there. They got their first boat in 1994 and added Sunset Cruises. The consistent trade winds here make for perfect sailing conditions, and it's why Aruba has so many catamarans and sailboats. And this Sunset Cruise is a popular one. You get drinks in the boat, snacks, and you even get to jump in the water and do some diving while watching the sunset. Seeing this view is the perfect way to end a day. Now we're going to go through our last day of adventures pretty quickly because we fit in a lot. First, the Aruba Ostrich Farm. They have ostriches, emus, peacocks, and many other kinds of birds. Plus, we got to feed the ostriches, which was great. Now you generally want to be careful around ostriches since they're basically dinosaurs, but the ones here were very friendly and getting to see them up close was really cool. Then we headed off to the Kasabari rock formations. Scientists aren't sure how these boulders ended up in the middle of the island, but they're believed to be volcanic rocks from millions of years ago. The indigenous Arawak people considered them sacred, and you can still find ancient petroglyphs carved into some of the rocks. And once you climb to the top, you get great views of the island. Next, the Aruba Donkey Sanctuary. Around 1500, the Spanish brought donkeys to Aruba and they became the island's main transportation. At one point, there were over 1,400 donkeys here, but when cars took over, the donkeys declined. By the early 1970s, disease and accidents had reduced the population to just 20 donkeys. Local volunteers stepped up and founded the sanctuary in 1997 to save these animals. Now they care for over 130 donkeys, giving each one a name, food, shelter, and medical care. You can feed them and pet them, and they're very friendly. And if you visit, please donate. These donkeys have been on the island for 500 years serving people, so they've definitely earned this. Next, we went to Alto Vista Chapel, the oldest church in Aruba, which was originally built in 1750 and is now a bright yellow chapel sitting on a hilltop with ocean views. And from there, the California Lighthouse, which is not named after the state, it's named after a British steamship that wrecked off the coast in 1891 carrying cargo. Next up, San Nicolas. When the oil refinery closed in 2009, this town struggled. But then Tito Bolivar visited Colombia, saw the street art, and brought the idea here. In 2016, the first Aruba Art Fair happened, and now there are over 50 murals from artists all around the world. And while you're here, check out O'Neill Caribbean Kitchen. The goat stew was amazing. After that, we checked out the Aruba Aloe Farm. Aloe was first brought to Aruba in 1840, and the climate here works perfect for it. At one point, 2/3 of the island was covered in aloe plants. And on this tour, you learned some fun facts.
With this, do you see the yellow coming here, people? Well, that yellow is a natural laxative, okay? If you have any trouble.
Good to know. Royal Aruba Aloe is one of the oldest aloe companies in the world, and for a long time, aloe was Aruba's only export. The tour shows you the whole process from harvesting to packaging. After a quick stop at the Fofoti Tree for some pictures, we headed out to Pure Ocean Beachside Dining. This is a newer restaurant where you eat right on the beach, which is always a great setup. And as for the sunset, they're great here in Aruba. Since it's only 12 degrees north of the equator, sunsets happen year-round at consistent times, usually between 6:30 and 7:30 p.m. The island gets about 300 days of sunshine a year, and it's outside the hurricane belt, so you get clear skies that make for perfect views. The food at Pure Ocean was great. We had crab cakes for an appetizer and then filet and lobster that was fresh and cooked really well. And the service was awesome. And watching the sun go down while eating there was just perfect. And after a quick walk through the local market, we headed back to wrap up our last night at Divi.
So we're wrapping up our week here at Divi Golf Resort. We had an excellent time. We were able to hit the links, had some great food, and the staff was excellent. Plus, we rented a car from Sunset and explored the entire island, all the way from the National Park in the south to the California Lighthouse in the north and everywhere in between. Make sure when you come to Aruba, you don't just stay on the resort. There's so many sights to see, beaches to explore, and museums to check out, and so many pictures to take. Plus, if you have a chance to take that sea turtle tour with Winston and his family, do it. It's honestly one of the best experiences I've had on any vacation. So make sure when you come to Aruba, you check out all of the One Happy Island.